Going to jump in and then show you the book which I am about to release. And the book is called 7 Steps to a Fulfilled Life. 7 Steps to a Fulfilled Life. And this book is almost ready with contribution and gratitude. And I will just take about 15 minutes to just give you a high level information about this book. If you're interested, it will be available pretty soon. And right now, it should be available on, let me see, fulfilledlifefoundation.com. This site was, it was live only today morning. And let's see how it is. Okay. So this is 7 steps to a fulfilled life. This one is it keeps going like this. And there are videos like why will, a guy who has interviewed me, he completely thoroughly interviewed me about all the different perspectives of my life. And this is a radio interview. This is an interview by Arun Kumar, MTS president, Metroplex Tamil Sangam's past president. Why should money work for you? And there are quite, somebody asked like investors meet with Velu, and July, there should be the videos should be there somewhere here. And these are all the investments, lending for real estate flip projects. And if you click on the next one, it is, what is that? Nanban Realty Fund. Nanban Realty Fund, we are going to have a webinar coming Wednesday, again, same time. AC's Fund, Industrial Warehouse. Hedge fund is already closed. Lending for real estate. So all these things are scrolling through. And again, this is about, again, the same, some of the other videos. And whatever interviews I have done in Tamil or speeches I have given, they are all here as well. And here you go. There is, if you click on this book, view book, you will be able to read this book. And this is how it is going to be. Oh, it's beautiful. I can use this one actually. All right. 7 steps to a fulfilled life, an experience of contribution with gratitude and servant leadership attitude. This book is dedicated in loving memory of my father, late K.R.M. Raman Chettiar, and our ancestors from VM family, who built a Shiva temple and created water resources by constructing several ponds for the village at Rayavaram, Pudukkottai district in Tamil Nadu, India. And Rob Thomas is my mentor, and he's also the founder of M1 Mastermind, the world's a whole life millionaire program. And he has written a book called The Power of Your Identity. He has given a forward. And the introduction is about, I used to be pretty successful organizing events, but I have never been happier, because every time I conduct an event, somebody will complain, somebody will say something did not go well, and my mind will only go through those things which did not go well, and I was always unhappy. And I could not figure out why would the event be successful and why would I not be happy? If the event is successful, I'm supposed to be happy, right? And I could not figure it out. And then finally, I found out that my rules were messed up. Like even if one person complains, I thought it's a failure. But whereas when I changed it to even 1% says that the event was successful, then I can be happy. Just shifting the rule. Where did I learn all that? From Tony Robbins. And of course, that is where I learned about contribution as well. So now, I also would like to say that my mind always goes for shortcut. Most of you know that I try to accomplish a lot by finding the right people. Like I'm leveraging Dave Tucker, and that is how I'm able to sell 20 homes in a week. But whereas I will not be able to do everything like Dave and still sell 20 homes, right? So how can you leverage the other people and still add value to your customers? And how can you create a shortcut and be smart and still be very successful? So that is the mindset I have. So I was trying to really figure out how can I become happy and fulfilled very quickly. And strategically, if you continuously do certain things on a regular basis, and you can get this happiness and fulfillment on a consistent basis. All of us we may come across that happiness and fulfillment every now and then, but by default, God has not designed us to go for it. We are always, like anxious, fearful, or maybe, like disappointed, or tensed up, or anxious, and all that kind of stuff. So how can we come out of that? So that is what this book is talking about. And I have really thanked my family and whoever has helped me write this book, and my Satyasai Balavikas and Sriram, who has suggested me to write a book for Sasta Tamil Foundation volunteers, and on my son and daughter and everyone else. And happiness and fulfillment. Basically, it is an art and it's not a science. A science is something which is same for everyone to do the same thing, then you can produce the same result. But whereas this is an art, living with fulfillment is an art. It differs from person to person. And I have also mentioned here in the first chapter that a lot of successful people like comedians, world famous comedians, have committed suicide while they have made the whole world laugh. Why? Because they did not live a fulfilled life. And how can we make it happen? So I'm going to finish with talking about contribution today, and that is going to be the second chapter. What is contribution? Contribution is basically, it can be just anything like doing exercise for your body is a contribution, and the mother taking care of the children is a contribution, and you guys working for your employer and making your company successful is a contribution. So all of them are contribution, and they are supposed to give you the happiness. But when does it give you happiness? Every now and then it gives you the happiness, right? And I have mentioned about one of my experiences doing Seva service project to homeless people through Satyasai Balavikas here. When we go and then serve food, we contribute. And when we contribute, we hit the bullseye. When we hit the bullseye, that means you are hitting 100 points. So you're scoring. Yeah, when you score, so then if you keep on contributing, you're going to score very well. And because you are meeting all your 6 needs. That is why people, those who come to serve, they will always say that, hey, can I come next month as well? Because it is addictive. And when you know how to do the job very well in your company, that not only meets your certainty needs that you can do it very well, it also gives you a lot of variety, like going to Las Vegas. I'm kidding, but like it gives you a lot of challenges. And then you also have a lot of connection through your work, and also you get a lot of love from people when you really do well, and you get some significance because some of your accomplishments are really making a difference for the company. And of course, you grow by going to various different seminars or trainings they send you. And whenever the new technology comes, you learn and grow. So that is how you are able to contribute, and all the 6 needs are met. That is why a lot of people become workaholic. And can you become an workaholic and say that I am contributing, I'm supposed to get satisfaction all the time, and I'm going to be fulfilled? Kind of no, because if you are contributing only to work and not to the family, it is going to become a conflict. There is a hierarchy in place, which we are going to talk about. So who do you need to contribute first? And then it is like taking the oxygen mask for yourself first, right? So contribution, what are the different ways you can contribute? So it talks about all the 6 needs, which is completely about more than a 1 hour of session about human psychology. But all we need to do is a shortcut, as I told you. If you contribute, you are going to hit the bullseye. That's it. Many people, if they go for significance, let's say, for example, oh, now if I'm going to a marriage and say that, oh, I want to feel significant, and they did not even, welcome me enough, so I want to, I don't feel like staying there. Nowadays you may not have seen this, but maybe 10 years ago, 20 years ago, that would have happened in Tamil Nadu. You could have seen some of those. So if you're trying to meet only the significance need, probably you will lose the love of somebody. So if you're going only for variety, and if you go to Las Vegas, and then if you keep on playing or going to the car race, probably you'll lose money. And if you only want certainty, then you can make a lot of people crazy, because like, oh my God, what if the flight doesn't start on time? What if they go late? You make everybody crazy because your certainty needs are pretty high. And so the only thing is, when you are contributing, you are not focusing on yourself, you're focusing on the other person. When you're focusing on the other person, you even forget your own misery. When you feel grateful, when you feel thankful, when you feel happy, it is an antidote to all that anxiety, all that resentment or jealousy or anything like that. So the quality of life is directly proportional to the quality of emotion you consistently feel on a daily basis. So if that is the case, then this contribution and gratitude is the beautiful combination. And that's what we are talking about in this next chapter, where it is gratitude. So when you serve the community, you are thankful to the community. You cannot live without the community. When you serve yourself, you are thankful to your body, that God has given this body. I'm so thankful I have to take care of my body. My wife, I'm so thankful to my wife. She has been taking care of me. She has been taking care of my children. I'm so thankful to her. How can I support her? So that is the servant leadership attitude. So with gratitude and servant leadership attitude, right? Servant leadership, gratitude, and contribution. And fulfillment is in the center. First and foremost, you go to yourself. The first one is I. And the servant leadership, I'm going to end with this particular page. I'm going to end. An authoritative leadership. I used to be a HR manager, and then I was called as a DGM HR, Deputy General Manager HR in South India Corporation in Coimbatore, a construction company. And I used to feel like authoritative leader because that is all I knew at that time. I was trying to be controlling. And if they don't follow, I try to, probably do all the things, whatever I can do to get the control back, right? So whereas the servant leadership is, hey, it is like the servant leader goes the bottom and say that, hey, how can I support you? Even though he's your subordinate, you are the one who recruited him. And still, if he's not able to perform, you are going to ask him, instead of saying that why you didn't do it right or fast enough, say that, hey, I know you do well. Is there anything going on in your family or personally? Is everything okay? Do you have any technical challenge? How can I help? Do you need any support? So that is the servant leadership, right? And the servant leadership is not egoistic, but it is a strength. So when you have the strength, you don't become, you become calm, and you give them the long rope, and you help them when they need. So you come from strength, not from ego. And you are not servant leadership is not authoritative, and it is love. It is not judgmental, it is the trust. You trust until they prove it wrong. And it is not critical, but it is having great gratitude. Without my subordinates, how am I going to succeed? For all my success depends on them. All of us are in my own team. I'm so thankful that there are people, those are working for me towards my goal and the company's goal. And power struggling, right? Power struggling, and whereas instead of instead of struggling for the power and say, oh my God, I told him he's not doing it. How can I make him, probably I have to give him a memo or something like that. No, it is like, okay, how can I support you? It's you go with the contribution. Overpowering, instead of overpowering, it is empowering. You empower them and then give them all the resources for them to perform. And instead of controlling, you are asking that supporting. It is supporting is the, I think it is the latest version is going to have power struggling, and here it is going to be supporting. So what we are really looking at is we are talking about contribution with gratitude and servant leadership attitude, and you start first with yourself, and that is where your fulfillment is. When you contribute to yourself, nowadays I'm trying to do, today I went for swimming, I went for a small fast run and did my abs and so many different things, and also biked for about an hour. So end of the day, that is what gives me the strength. And when that strength is there, I'm able to contribute to you. When we have more strength, we will be able to contribute to our family and our community and all that. So first, you have to have more bandwidth of your physical energy, your mental energy, and your vitamin M, money, financial energy. Then you will be able to be abundant to people and you will be able to contribute. So there is a hierarchy which we are going to talk about maybe in the next few days. If you look at it, first comes I, then comes family, then comes business and community and the nation. And this is the last one. The fulfillment is in the center. First, you take care of I, which is in the center, and you take care of your family, you serve your wife, then you serve your children, and you're not controlling the children, you're not judging the children, you're not judging the family, you are only asking them, hey, how can I support? Right? The same thing you're doing it to the business and community, and also you are asking the nation. Nation is doing so much. The America has given me so much of opportunity. How can I give back to the nation? How can I give it to the universe? So that we don't have all kinds of global warming and all that kind of stuff. So that is going to be the last one. The I is a part of the family, I is a part of the business, I is a part of the community, I is the part of the nation, and I is the part of the universe. Unless you take care of all of these, your I cannot be fulfilled. So if you're taking care of yourself, that is more selfish, that will only bring misery to you. You have to take I out of yourself, and then once you take care of yourself, you look at yourself as a different person and contribute to yourself, and then go in this hierarchy. If you start contributing to the business without contributing to the family, it is of no use, in my opinion. So that is why I have set this up as a hierarchy. And I'm so thankful to Bala, because that is where I learned this principle. And Tony Robbins is where I learned this contribution. And then I combined all of these with servant leadership and then the hierarchy, and combined it with my own experience and how I was able to transform. And that is about this book. This book is right now available in fulfilledlifefoundation.com, and it is still going through some revisions. I am sending it to Fiverr for some proofreading by professionals. But other than that, it is ready. You are welcome to give me your thoughts and opinions and feedbacks. And I'm so thankful to you, for all of you who are still staying with me to listen to me. And now the time is for feedback and questions. And right now I will stop the recording